Hi, I'm Jill at Simple Daily Recipes. I'm dedicating this video to all of our new iPot brothers and sisters. Welcome to the family! Now, a few of you may not know, I have an Instapot cookbook. It's called OMGee Good, Instapot Meals, Plant-Based and Oil-Free. Oh, see, there's my face right there. You can find it on Amazon, and when you buy the print copy, you can get the Kindle version for free. That's right, free. You're welcome. This book is great because I made sure to put a picture with every recipe, and all the cooking directions are specifically written out for the Instapot. That's right, no guessing, no converting. You can just go right into this book and start making dinner. Yeah, you're welcome again. One more thing before we start cooking. If you are not one of my wonderful subscribers, then be sure to subscribe to Simple Daily Recipes. I don't want you missing any new videos and yummy stuff coming up in the future. All right, let's get cooking. In this video, I want to show you how I quick soak and pressure cook red beans. So here's a regular 1-pound bag of red beans that I've already picked through and washed. Using the inner pot, I just cover the red beans with about 1 inch of water. Drop my inner pot back into my iPot, and I'm going to use the saute function to bring the water to a boil. When you hit the saute function, it automatically goes to normal heat. There's actually 3 heat settings with the saute. You can use less, normal, or high, or more, and that's just like low, medium, high on your stovetop. Now, once the water comes to a boil, then I'm going to use the Keep Warm Cancel button to cancel the function. And then I'm going to wait 1 hour. Okay, here's 1 hour later. My red beans are all plumped up and ready to go. So I'm going to drain off all that bean water, give them a good rinse, and then drop them back into the inner pot. Now from here, this is where I like to add my spices and vegetables to my beans. You can use any combination that your hearts desire. Any old way that your mama or your grandma used to make her beans, you can do it the same way in the iPot. I like to use 3 whole garlic cloves and a medium yellow onion that's been finely chopped. Okay, so as far as spices, I like to use a ½ tablespoon of Mexican oregano and 1 tablespoon of hickory liquid smoke. Now, as you get to know me, and those of you that already know, I love liquid smoke. This stuff adds the best flavor to any of your dishes or recipes that used to have meat in them. All right, and then I'm adding a teaspoon, 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt. That's completely optional. 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and I am ready to rock. Okay, then I want to cover my beans with about 1 inch of water. If they were dry beans and I did not soak them, I would cover them with 2 inches of water, because that's the way I roll. I've been pressure cooking for 20 years. I've got some rodeo experience. I've made lots of fails, but I've had even more successes. And this is my rule of measure. Okay, so I like to stir everything up. And then I just wanted you to see on the side of the pot where we are. We're at the 8-cup level in our inner pot. And you always want to make sure that you never take your food up to the max line, okay? You need that space to create pressure or things just don't work out. And I just want you to see that what I meant by 1 inch of water, I mean when I stick my finger in the pot, when I stick my finger into the pot and I reach down, I'm trying to touch the beans. So at that point where I can touch the top of the beans, I'm measuring that point and to where the water level is, okay? And that's my measure. So when it comes up a little past my knuckle, I know that's about 1 inch. And then when it goes a little above my other knuckle, then that's 2 inches. Again, 20 years of experience, this is my rule. Works for me every time. Before you put the lid on, make sure that your seal is seated properly in the lid. It gets a little wonky after we've washed it off and put it back in. So make sure that it's in there and wrapped around that wire, that wire rod there that goes around, okay? And then make sure your little cover is all clean, which it probably is because you're all new. Okay. Make sure your steam release handle is seated properly as well. Sometimes that can be a little off and that can cause pressure to spew up out of there. You don't want that to happen. That makes things off. So you want to make sure that that's pointing to the ceiling. We're going to hit manual, which automatically goes to high pressure, and we're going to use the minus key to take us to 20 minutes of cooking. Oh, I love that sound. Real quick, I want to talk about cooking times. Now, if you're a noob to pressure cooking, you may think it takes 20 minutes all in all for your dinner to be complete. That's not the way it rolls. Here's what really goes down. In pressure cooking, you have to allow a certain amount of time for your pressure cooking appliance or your stovetop cooker to heat up and come to pressure. Pressure has to build up in the pot before the cooking actually begins, okay? That time before the pressure comes can be anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes, depending on the temperature and quantity of the food in the pot. If you have frozen food in your iPot or in your pressure cooker, it's going to take a lot longer for that pot to heat up and come to pressure. And then the next part is the actual cooking time. Once the pressure cooker has come to pressure, that's when cooking time begins. That's when everything really starts happening, okay? Then after the cooking time is finished, you have the time in which the pressure is going to go down, okay? And that can be anywhere from 1 minute to 10 minutes and then a natural release, or 15 or 20 minutes, just depending on what the cooking process is and what you've got in the pot, okay? So all those times, because the time before it comes to pressure and the time that comes after the pressure varies so often, what never changes is the actual cooking time. So when you're watching my playlist here, my Instapot recipes playlist, or you're reading my Instapot cookbook, and I tell you that it takes 20 minutes to cook something, I'm really saying to you that that's the time you need to set your timer on the appliance, okay? And that's important because you don't want to overcook your food, and you certainly don't want to undercook it, right? Right? Yeah, okay, you get me? Are we all on the same page now? Awesome, high five. Okay, I admit I have a tendency to forget that I have something in the iPod. I get super busy, and thankfully the iPod always kicks into keep warm mode. It's been 46 minutes since the the beans have been cooked, so I'm going to hit the keep warm cancel button to stop the keep warm mode. The rod has dropped down, and I can safely remove the lid. If the rod is up, it won't let me open the lid, so there's no way of hurting yourself there. Okay, there you can see all the onions, and there's that whole garlic. My way of knowing if my beans are cooked correctly is if I blow on the beans and the skin on the beans starts to roll back. I know when that happens that I have a perfectly cooked bean. They're tender to the bite without being mushy. Look at that. Now all the onions and garlic there floating around, you give that a good stir and most of that onion will just dissolve right into the broth. Look at there. Here's how I like to treat that garlic. I like to fish out the garlic and just use the back of a spoon and smash it up real good. It is just mush. They look solid, but they're not. I don't even try to pick them up because they just dissolve right into my hand. So I like to mash them up and then just stir them right into my bean broth. If you don't have much experience cooking beans, let me share with you that when you first cook beans, the bean broth looks really thin and watery. When you first open it up, you can see it looks almost clear. And that can be disappointing to some when we're so used to seeing beans in that nice bean gravy. Well, that comes the next day. So when you've got your beans cooked and you want that nice bean gravy, just put your beans in the refrigerator and let them, spend the night in the refrigerator. And the next night, all the starches from those beans will thicken up that bean water and you'll have the beans you know and love. Depending on how many people are eating in your family, maybe it's just you can take this whole pound of cooked beans and put some aside to eat right away and take all the rest of them and put them in an airtight container, maybe like a freezer bag, and put them up in your freezer. Divide up the beans in portion sizes or how you would want to eat them and just put them up in the freezer, okay? And they will keep for you very well for about 6 months. time for you to pull them out of the freezer, you can just run them under hot water, or you can put the beans in the refrigerator and let them thaw there. I can't think of anything else to add to that. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to thumbs up the video, and if you have any questions about cooking in your new iPot, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask. Post your questions in the comments below, because if you have a question, I bet lots of other people have that same question. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.